PK52, the Saturday morning meeting, the day before the Super Bowl. Man, this is a very interesting time in America. It doesn't matter what's going on in politics, doesn't matter what's going on in the world. It really doesn't matter what's going on in the weather. What happens is that everybody who really doesn't know anything about the game of football decides that they're absolute experts, and everybody jumps on this game. Most of you that know me personally know that I watch a little college football. I don't watch any pro sports at all, because you got to dedicate your life and your time when you're in the car business. You got to figure out what you have time for and what you don't have time for, and you got to prioritize. But I watch the Super Bowl every year because it's not really a football game. If you look at what's happening in Miami, every club has Lamborghinis and Porsches, Audi A8s, Supras, and high-end Lexus. It's how you arrive and who you are and who you know. And it's an interesting thing. It's just a football game until it gets down to the Super Bowl. Now, I am currently wearing my Crabtree jersey. It's a torn deal for me. I am a big Texas Longhorn fan. I graduated from Texas Tech University, and Michael Crabtree actually stole a national championship away from Texas one year with an unbelievable catch in the end zone in an NCAA football rivalry game. Everybody say they're not rivals. They were rivals on that day. So, it's the underdog mentality for me. I've got no skin in the game. I hope the game is good for everybody. I hope it goes to the last minute and everybody's pleased with the game. But, right now you look at, who they're pulling for. If you live in the Kansas City area, the Midwest, obviously you're pulling for Kansas City. If you live on the coast, you're probably pulling for the 49ers, even though you haven't watched them play football all year long. So it's an interesting thing when you take the two best and the best of the best. So it's all about entertainment. Am I entertained? What is in it for me? At the end of the day, it's a football game. Everybody will be talking about it on Monday and what happened in the game and everything, even though it has no bearing on the future of your life. Well, it's a very interesting thing. What we chose to do for a living is selling cars and creating transportation needs. But is it really a need? People come in and they look at a car. They've got a perfectly good car. A car's 4 years old. There's nothing wrong with it. It's got 50,000 miles on it, but they want a brand new car. So it's a desire and a want. Or they want to move into something pre-owned that's a different type of vehicle. They want to change their lifestyle, and automobiles do that for us. So I'm about to do the Highlander launch, and I'm starting up in the Northeast. And the really cool thing about Highlander is, if you look at enough media right now, you'll find somebody out there that's going to say something negative about the 2020 Highlander, and man, they have to search hard to hate that vehicle. But you know what? They will. They'll go out there and say, well, hey, the turn signals aren't LED. For $25, you can remedy that situation. The rear leg room in the third seat's not big enough. Well, there's nothing. It's built on the Camry platform. There's nothing in that class where you can lounge in a third seat. You can't look at any other brand and go like, "Whoa, this third seat is it's like being out on a desert island by myself. I got all this space." It's something you use on a very limited basis. If you're buying me dinner, and I'm going to dinner with a bunch of people that I want to associate with, and the only place I need to get is in the back row of that Highlander, I'm in the middle of the back row. Let's go. So if you don't need a back row, you can buy a Camry. If you don't need that much space, you can buy a RAV4. If you need more space than suck it up and buy a Sienna. Well, okay, so you really don't want to buy a minivan. Stop it. That Sienna minivan is unbelievable. You'll catch yourself when you're in one, whether you're driving or in the passenger seat, going like, oh my God, this thing is amazing. So when we have a vehicle that's going to sell, we're going to do 300,000 plus of these vehicles. So when you look at a vehicle that's going to sell in those kind of numbers, and approaching the 300,000 number, that's going to draw traffic to the store. Whether they're buying a pre-owned Highlander because of the ads about new Highlander, or they're buying a brand new Highlander, there are so many options now at a Toyota dealership. I'm super stoked to do the Highlander launch. There's nothing wrong with this vehicle. It could be the best vehicle we've ever made. If you look at every function of everybody's life and how they're going to use a vehicle, there's really nothing you can throw at this vehicle, if you're really being honest, that's negative about it. But what happens in the world of Toyota today is there's no bad choices. So if you trek to the store and you're looking at a Highlander, then there are so many other options at a Toyota store, which means you're one and done. You do not need to go anywhere else. Just to close this out, I started out with the Super Bowl theme today because it's an anomaly. People watch the game for the commercials. The commercials this year are $5.6 million for 30 seconds. If you go to the bathroom, they just spent $5.6 million and you didn't see it. Somebody may say, "Woo, you just missed a great commercial." And you know, are you gonna scroll back to watch the commercial? Maybe. But $5.6 million for 30 seconds. What a powerful way to be able to reach a bunch of consumers. But let's be honest with you. Once the commercials are done, once the game's over, it's all back to you. It's always been us. It's how we can present, how we can prep the car. So I did a big seminar yesterday at a dealership, and we talked about this. We talked about how many hours it takes just from when the car comes in on a transport, that goes through the shop, that goes through detail, that goes through all the prep we do, window stickers, where we're gonna park it, how we're gonna set it up. How many hours does it take just to take a brand new vehicle shipped to us from Toyota and to finally get it on the lot and get it ready for the consumer to come look at? How much behind the scenes? How much digital? How many pictures did we take of this vehicle? How are we offering online? So with these multiple hours of preparation just to show the vehicle to the first customer that comes in to look at it, I think that as a salesperson, we need to take that same amount of time. If I know I've got a consumer coming in, forgive me for saying this in the Saturday morning meeting, but check it out. Jeffrey Jones is coming in. He lives in my local community. I'm in a small store, in a small community. We're a Toyota single point, and there's no other dealership around me. On the other side, I'm in a major metro, and there's 13 other Toyota dealerships within really quick driving distance. It doesn't really matter. It's all about Mr. Jones, Jeffrey Jones, and when he comes in. He lives in ABC somewhere in America. You find out some information about him. Look at him on social media. You find out the guy works at the school. He's been with the school system in your market area for 26 years. He's the principal of the junior high in your community. So every single day, this person goes to school, takes care of our kids, and tries to make our children look to a higher level. So everybody has an opinion about school teachers, principals, coaches, and all that, but they do dedicate their life to making our students, our kids, look maybe a little bit further than they've ever looked before, so they know that there's more out there to challenge them every single day. I know this about him. He comes in. I asked him the first question. I said, "I hope you don't mind. You weren't coming in for a few days. I'd always like to know my customers. Are you the principal at the junior high school?" And then you've built a relationship with this guy, because now you can talk within what he does for a living. To be honest with you, if I'm buying a car, and it's a high-end car, let's don't joke around. Highlander's $50,000 if you get everything. So for $100,000, I'd like to know who the salesperson is that I'm dealing with. Would you please send me a video? Hey, I'm KC. Real quick, the Highlander you come and look at, it's got everything you want on there. I've checked all the list, everything you asked me for, and a few other things. Here's a couple of things that you may not know you're getting with a Highlander. I drove it. It's parked out front. Your name is hanging off the mirror. I can't wait to show you this vehicle. Why is that so difficult? Why is it so difficult? Why wouldn't you want me to know who you are and what to expect when I come into the dealership? Michael Crabtree stole a national championship from the Longhorns. The way he sees it was, might have played one of the best collegiate games of his life. It was at that moment. Well, the cool thing about the car business is we create that moment all the time. When a total stranger comes into a dealership and takes most of their money because it's a giant purchase, and they trust you to be their sales professional and to take care of them now and in the future, it's a giant responsibility. In the year 2020, let's rise to the occasion. If a Super Bowl ad costs $5.6 million for 30 seconds, what is the value of your presentation? What is the value of your digital response to a customer asking a question about a car? If digital commercials can bring 5.6 million, then I think that a digital response to a customer that's inbound to your dealership becomes super valuable. Think about the way people process information today. Think about the way you can best sell yourself before the customer gets there. I get it. Once they're there, we have product, we have help, we've got this beautiful multi-million-dollar facility, we've got everything at our fingertips. But if they don't come in to take delivery of the car, then you probably didn't sell them the car. What are you doing to prepare that customer for you? I'm going to say this right now. Hope I don't offend anybody as I close this out. It's just a Highlander. It's just a RAV4. It's a Camry. It's a Corolla. It's just a car. Every dealership in the United States that has a Toyota sign on it sells the same exact vehicle. The difference in this business from day one, when the first person sold the first car, wasn't the vehicle. I get it. It's the allure. I'm interested. I want to come look at it and drive it. It's the allure. But it's the salesperson and how they handle the situation that makes all the difference. You make the difference. Super Bowl Saturday, get ready tomorrow because you're going to overeat and watch a game that you really might not even care who wins, but you're going to watch because it is a giant spectacle. Think about what this game has done to the nation and create a little piece of that for yourself. PK52, the Saturday Morning Meeting.